Hey guys, welcome back to Pocket Sports. I'm here with Tournament Director of our Pro Series, Arthur Titus. It's not often that I can get him behind the camera, but I've managed to do so. How are you, mate?
Very good, Dakota. Thanks for having me.
That's good. I wanted to get you on here to ask you a few questions, obviously with our Pro Series coming up. So we'll get into it. The first one I want to know is, can you tell everyone about the Pro Series and what we can expect?
Well, the Pro Series is essentially like a professional series that we're trying to create here in Australia. And we're also trying to actually, I've been talking to a couple of other smaller nations in the South Pacific about joining, future Pro Series. So essentially, like what we're trying to do is, create the AFL of pool here in Australia. So I think everything's going on track, and we hope to, achieve that within the next couple of years. I'd like to say by the end of 2022, but realistically, to get big name partners and sponsors on board, we need a couple years running by being able to be sustainable enough for these companies to invest in our business.
Yeah. I know we haven't even started the first one yet, but everyone does keep asking for the future of the Pro Series. Is it going to be extended past 8 players, or is it going to stick to 8? And also, how can people play and have a chance to enter?
Well, there are plans for it to be, more than 8, but I don't see it being any more than 32. If let's say in 2023 we did extend to 16, and then 2024 we extended to 32, I couldn't see this event going beyond that, because we need to still maintain the level of competition amongst the top players in the country. So and as well as other countries like New Zealand, Fiji, and maybe some of the other smaller Pacific islands, we'd like to keep a very high standard of pool being played. So with regards to players actually entering into the Pro Series, there are several different ways that the company's actually planned for spots in future. So, for example, in the 2023, I've unofficially announced that there could be, a potential for it to increase to 16, depending on players from other smaller nations and also players within Australia. So there's the Pockets Challenger event, which is which would be another weekend event. We'd host the same way that we do with the Pro Series, but it'd be an open event to majority of top players in Australia, and essentially top players that qualify and go into finals from those events will essentially be will have spots in the Pro Series. But there's also wildcards to take into consideration for future Pro Series, as well as overseas players. So there are different ways that we're actually going to bring people into the Pro Series. But for now, we're trying to keep it as simple and streamlined as possible. We're trying to focus on these 8 players. We're trying to have a good year in 2022. And then maybe that's something for us to think about in the future. But there is a Pro Challenger at the end of the year, which will be an open event. And at the moment, we're looking at Australia's top 64 players to enter in on that. Because what players also need to consider is there is a high entry fee into this Pro Series. Yes, players are paying entry fee into the series, as well as sponsorship and partnership. So,
yeah. So with the next one around the corner, a lot of people have been wondering costs of the event. Are they able to come into the venue and watch? Can they watch from their own homes? How's it going to work?
Well, we're selling tickets over here, and we're capping our ticket numbers at 250, because that's pretty much a good number to host and cater to customers that come into the venue, as well as staff, production gear, performers, and the players and the playing arena. So we've capped it at 250 tickets. which I haven't even posted up publicly on Facebook, but they are pretty much sold out at the moment. So the only other way people would be able to watch the event is on live stream. We've also decided that the first Pocket Series on January 30th and the 31st will be free of charge. So yeah, customers won't actually have to purchase that event. Although we do have another section that people, if they wanted to support us, people wanted to support the company and our goals and our mission, they can actually, it'd be sort of a donation, but it'd also be you're purchasing the season pass, and that will basically be at a cheaper discounted rate. We encourage people of the community to actually purchase that just to help our mission and our goals, so that we can keep this Pro Series as sustainable. I think sustainability is very important with a business plan like this. And
yeah, you've already put in so much money, and we haven't even been to the first event. So why are we making the first event free to viewers? Can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're making it free because our goal and our mission statement is actually to get more people into the sport. It's very hard for the general public and people who have somewhat of an interest in pool. They go to pool halls and stuff like that, but they won't actually purchase any season pass. They won't even purchase a weekend pass. They wouldn't even want to enter in their email, their payment details, and they wouldn't want to go through all that stress to watch pool, you know, something that they're not too familiar with. So we decided to make it for free. The financial burden is very heavy on the company because that's a lot of money being, you know, just that we won't be able to use as income or revenue to sustain further tournaments. But it's a strategy that we've used so that we can actually bring more new people into the sport, at least give them like a glimpse of what to expect from the sport, and give them a different perspective on the sport. So. Yeah, that's the reason why we've actually we're not charging for the first event.
So, what's your goal? Why are you exactly doing what you're doing? Because we've seen plenty do it in the past and failed, and these people who have been doing it have all been pool-related players or pool enthusiasts. You've just come in here, you've bought this place, not knowing anything about pool, and you've learnt so much in the short time you've been doing it. Can you explain why you're doing it?
Well, I like a challenge, you know. I really do like a challenge in my life. And I feel when I was growing up and I was a young boy, I lived in Fiji, and, you know, someone came over to me and decided that he wanted to give me a scholarship, an opportunity at life. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do for everyone else. I see in a sport that majority of people can play, you know, physically able and physically disabled people, mentally struggled people can play. This is a sport that anyone can potentially play at a very high level against able people.
Yep.
And I just think it's a good opportunity for young people to, you know, strive to be something more than, you know, you have young people that like to play footy and rugby and soccer, and this just gives them that other goal that they can strive towards. But yeah, given opportunity has got to be my main goal for this, and this is the reason why I'm actually doing this project.
And you're pretty active on Facebook. I have noticed you've publicly stated that you want Moscone Cup atmosphere style, or, you know, the way they have it over at the darts in the UK. Why is that?
I think times are changing, and people get very bored very easily. People have a shorter, you know, concentration span. You need excitement. You need atmosphere. You know, I'm part of that younger generation, if I'd like to say, and I'd like to go to places with atmosphere, with people having a good time, and that's what I think this is Pool's last go in Australia, and I think we need to change the way that we do things, because I always like to tell people, if I can't do it, that's it. It won't be able to be done.
Yep.
No one else will be able to turn pool into something bigger in this country, and that's why I look back, you know, and I see what have people done in the past, and how can I take some of the good and leave some of the bad, and then sort of try and create strategies in order to gain new customers into the sport. So,
and you think that the atmosphere is one of those ways?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Can you tell me what your biggest challenge has been to date? Obviously, we're trying to come out the back end of a pandemic. Is that one of your biggest challenges, or is there something else?
Yeah, well, the pandemic has had, you know, a big impact on our business, the bar, and all our other businesses that we actually own. But it actually was the pandemic. It was because of the pandemic that I actually came up with the idea to professionalize the sport. I was sitting down on my couch and I was like, how can, you know, pool be professionalized? And the lockdown actually gave me that time to think about it, and lockdown actually made me come up with a plan. It gave me time to think and be as creative as possible. But I do think to date, the hardest thing that I've faced is changing mindsets and trying to other than the financial strain that you know, I can deal with physical and mental strain, but when it comes to financial strain that I have no control over, because I am not a millionaire. Yeah, I think mindset has to be, you know, the biggest roadblock that I've had to continuously try and jump over, trying to educate people that, hey, this is the way we kind of have to do stuff if you want, you know, the sport to go somewhere. We've been doing it this way, but let's try something different. You know, you hit it from the same angle and it doesn't budge. You're gonna have to move and change directions and manipulate and create different. Yeah, you just have to be creative, but changing people's mindsets to change is probably got to be the hardest thing that I have to do. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, there you have it, guys. You've heard it here first from Titus, Tournament Director of the Pro Series. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming, mate.
Thanks for having me.